Yo, today on the Independent Grind, we're gonna get into copyrights. Yeah. Yo, welcome to the Independent Grind, the show that gives inspiration and tips to creative minds and entrepreneurs to music and film. I'm your host, Dramatic Gamble. Today, man, we're going to talk about copyrights and why they are very, 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 very important for your music. Now, if you don't know what copyrights are, those are things, that is what you do to your music or anything that you create to be able to protect you in case somebody steals it or to let you know that you have ownership. And also, when it comes to music, it's two things I always stress: is copyright and publishing. And so copyrights are good to go, they almost go hand in hand. But when you're doing your own original music, you know, you can copyright your music before you put it out to the world. But when you're doing music with other people, you have to include them in copyrights. You have to, when you do your split sheets, you need to go ahead and say who did what on what song. So before you put it out, you can copyright it, publish it, and then you can put it out to the world and distribute it how you want. But let's get into a little history with the copyrights. The United States Copyright Office and the position of Register of Copyrights were created by Congress in 1897. The Register directs the Copyright Office as a separate federal department within the Library of Congress under the general oversight of the librarian pursuant to specific statutory authority set forth in the United States Copyright Act. Today, the Copyright Office is responsible for administering a complex of dynamic set of laws which include registration, the recordation of title and license, a number of statutory license provisions, and other aspects of the 1976 Copyright Act and the 1998 Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And as of early as 2017, the Copyright Office has approximately 400 employees, the majority of whom examine and register hundreds of thousands of copyright claims in books, journals, music, movies, sound recording software, photographs, and other works of original authorship each year. So, what do all of that noise mean for you? What that is saying that when you create something original, as far as a movie script, as far as anything like you write a book, a poem, like I said, a movie script, a video game. If you come up with a video game in the artwork, certain photographs, your selfies, wedding photos, all of that protect you. And if people want to use your stuff, they have to get permission or, let's say, a license from you or something written saying that they're able to use what you've created to resell or put in a magazine or something like that. And that just gets some kind of safety so anybody won't steal your work. And that's what you need to do with your music. So that's the basis of what the Copyright Office does. It protects you legally from people stealing your work and using it for their own. You can say, hey, I copyrighted this 2 years ago. You can't use my song. I didn't give you permission. So that's what, when people say, do you have your paperwork together for your songs? Most times it means copywriting and some kind of publishing. You know, that's pretty much, I mean, it's a lot more to it. It ain't a whole lot more to it, but it's more to it. But basically, when somebody say, man, make sure you got your paperwork did for your songs, it's the copyright and the publishing aspect of it. I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to talk about this a little more when I come back. Chill.
Dramatic Minds Entertainment presents Pray for Mercy Volume 1, the singles collection, featuring the hit song, Tonight.
Well, I'm just living up on this liquor, trying to get my head right.
In the hood, stacking up this paper, trying to get my bread right. I got a cup full of ice, just mix this Crown with this Sprite, and just get yourself together, cause I'ma love you tonight. And also, I Got That, featuring H2 Music.
I got that bass up in my ride, them lows missing them highs, they're loud burning inside. So won't you hop up inside? I got that bass knocking my speakers, them highs up on my tweeters. No time for non-believers. Don't join us cause
And the club banger, Legs to the Ceiling.
I'm coming through just to break you up. Give me the green light and I'm going. I got her legs up to the ceiling. Legs up to the ceiling. I got her legs up to the ceiling. Legs up to the ceiling. I got her legs up to the ceiling. Legs up to the ceiling. Oh, what a good feeling. I got her legs up to the
Available
ceiling.
worldwide online.
All right, man, I'm back. Yeah, we talking about copyrights. And what I was saying is copyrights helps protect your work that you created. Now, let's say I'm gonna give two examples of why you really need a copyright. Let's say you created a song, and you got 5 more rappers in the studio with you. You created a song, so and let's say this song is real good. It potentially could be a big hit. So you record the song, and you got all these other rappers in there, and they hear it. Now, this other rapper don't really like you, but he liked this song. And so he listened to the song, and then you don't do nothing with the song. You just say, you put it to the back burner. You recorded it though. But then 6 months to a year down the road, you hear this song on the radio. Oh man, it's number 10. It's number 5. Now it's number 1. But it was your song that this rapper over here that really didn't like you, he put it out on the radio. But guess what? You didn't copyright it. Guess what? He copyrighted. So now you're gonna have a whole lot of problems trying to say, man, I made that song. He was in the studio with me. That was my song. But they're gonna like, hey, you didn't copyright it. So really, man, just to avoid all that, it's best to go ahead and copyright your work. Now, the other example, let's say that same song, you recorded it, you published it yourself, you copyrighted it, and those same group of people was in the studio and they heard that song. They don't know what you did. They don't know your business. They don't know if you copyrighted or published it. So he hear it, then he over there saying, man, I like that. I'm going to steal that. 6 months to a year down the line. You still didn't, didn't put it out. Let's say you just copyrighted, published it, but, you didn't release the song. 6 months to a year, he released it. Pretty much the same song. Now you can say, hold up. That's my song. He stole it. How he going to use that for his own? Now you have the legal paperwork to say, I turned my copyright paper in this day. He stole my song. And so now you have something that can back you up. If you go to court, if it goes that far, if he make the number 1 song out of it, and then you say, oh, you don't get no royalties from that. You stole that from me. If that can be proven, then you got the law on your side because you copyrighted that. So that's the purpose of copywriting, man. Hopefully people, it's been cases like that where people stole people's songs, but hopefully, man, people just not going around stealing people's songs. But just in case it will happen, you will have some backup. So that's the purpose of copyrights when it comes to your music. And that's why I always stress that, because I think copyrights are real important. You can go on the website, copyright.gov, and they will guide you through it. It's a minimum fee, man. $35, $55 somewhere in there. It's not even $100 to copyright your song. So I think that's a good and smart investment for you to make when it comes to your music, to make sure you copyright your song, especially for younger artists that's just anxious to put their music out online. I think you need to, if you got a body of work, go ahead and copyright it, man. And like I say, even any kind of arts, man, anything you create, literary arts, they say performing arts, visual arts, photographs, motion pictures, other digital content, like they say computer programs, certain blogs, websites, you can copyright all this stuff so won't nobody steal it and use it for their own, especially if they're making money off of it. So think about that, and you'll be on your way, man. I just got a little more in depth with the copyright thing today, but I always mention it. But that is an important step to copyright your music. Producers copyright your beats, and they're just a start. That's one of the first things that I think you should do before you let anybody hear your song or release it, to make sure it's copyrighted, because you never know, man. People be slick and they try to take your stuff, and you created it, and that's just gonna cause a whole lot of problems. But that's all I wanted to talk to y'all about today. So if you have any thing you want to talk about on the show, hit me up on my email at dramaticgamble@gmail.com. This is Independent Grind, and I'll see y'all next time. Chill. Peace out.